But when big people commit crime, it's as if the laws don't work in their case. Just imagine if it was Farouk Aliu Muhammad, who was slapped by a journalist or by someone else. By now, we would have been told that the person is in detention, the person is to be taken to court today, and all of that. We would have seen the law taking full effect. And I think it is also because sometimes we as journalists have failed to come together to collectively act. And that is why we applaud the decision of the GJA, for example, in the case of Hawa Kumsin. And I mean, once it is proven that what is reported about Farouk Aliu Muhammad is true, I believe that the media community has to come together to take a drastic action against him and to make sure that the laws of our country are respected. Otherwise, as they say, impunity begets impunity, and these things would continue.
All right. So you've established a few things. Before we move on to maybe Hawa Kumsin, this is what Farouk Aliu Muhammad, the member of parliament of Yendi, had to say. He says it was the MP, well, this is what the journalist had to say, that it was the MP, Farouk Aliu Muhammad, who slapped me and his people kicked me and took my phone away. That is what the City FM journalist had to say. Also adding, I was reporting on the violence that was happening during the counting process. So I asked the MP why that was happening. And he got up and came and slapped me. And his people also started beating me up. So this is what the journalist has been sharing. And like you're saying, if we can substantiate this, then I guess the proper mechanisms, the long arms of the law should reach into that. But we also know that this is not the first time. There have been so many incidents of same, and oftentimes the reaction, you criticize us, the media, but even when we do our best in putting this out there, what comes of it? You know very well, nothing, practically nothing comes of it. So what then do you do?
Well, I think that you're right that in most cases, these matters are raised and literally nothing happens. The reasons are quite numerous. And as I said before, I think that on some occasions, we can blame ourselves as journalists and folks in the media community who sometimes may even drop the ball. We have had cases where we as an organization would be acting in support of a journalist, only to be told that the journalist himself or herself says that he or she is not interested in pursuing the case further. We have had cases where we go to the police and the police say, well, we also read this in the news, but the matter has not been reported to us. Just a few months ago, the Ministry of Information organized what was called the Accountability Forum for putting that together. It was essentially, and so on and so forth. There is nothing we can do. We just have to accept whatever the journalist says. But that is the appeal that I am making, that until we begin to assert our rights, until we begin to take people on for the abuse of the law, we would not make progress. And indeed, if this turns out to be true, that Farouk indeed slapped or abused the journalist, that's a criminal offense, and we would be prepared to go all out to ensure that, the matter is taken to court, prosecuted, the journalist's rights, respected, and whatever decision the court then would arrive at. If the court says, well, it's okay because he's an MP, he can slap a journalist and go scot-free, well, let's get there and see. But the time when people feel that they are too big in this country must come to an end. We must ensure that when the law says that no one is above the law, indeed no one is above the law, not even the president. I believe that we should get to a point where if the president is abusing the law, we take him on, even if he wouldn't listen, even if he is adamant, as we are witnessing in some of these cases. I think as citizens, we have not been angry enough, in some of these matters. And so these are matters that we would fully pursue. We are keenly interested in them, and we would ensure that the right things are done, so long as the journalists would want their right to be asserted and would want to be supported in defending their rights.
And of course, it becomes even more problematic because of the position he occupies. And again, some people would even look at the fact that he is the son of a former vice president. But Let's cross over from Yendi into Ewutu Senya East. A member of parliament who is not new to having problems with, close shaves with media people and her team supposedly perpetrating assault. Now, in recent times, we heard of that Cape FM incident in the central region, on the back of which the GJA issued a statement saying that there should be a media blackout. No one should cover anything to do with Mavis Hawakumson, the member of parliament for Ewutu Senya East. She has gone through, she has scaled the hurdle in her primary, but now she is saying that she's taking the GJA leadership, the president or the body, to court, suing them, and that they must come with proof or retract the statement they have made. But you, as the Media Foundation for West Africa, you have supported the GJA on this. On what basis did you support the GJA? Because she's saying there's no evidence tying her to this assault or to her team.
Well, I'm not surprised that the minister would take such an absurd position. Here is a case in which a journalist has been assaulted during an incident involving her vetting. The journalist says, this is what happened. I was invited. People said they are suspecting that I'm the one who insulted this person on television. I told them I'm not. I showed them my card. And subsequently, they ambushed me and mercilessly beat me up. I would have been expecting the minister by now to be saying that, look, I only came to realize this after my vetting, and I have spoken to the journalist involved, rendered my sincere apologies to him, and I've assured him that, look, I will take all the appropriate steps to ensure that the persons involved are sanctioned, and in the event some cost has been incurred in terms of medical bills, I'm ready to support the journalist. But surprisingly, she comes out to be threatening a court or a legal action, and I don't know on what basis. The GJA is saying that, look, media houses should boycott everything related to her, and we have added in our support to the GJA that it shouldn't just be about her. So long as she remains the Minister for Fisheries, in fact, the Fisheries Ministry should not also be covered by the media as well. And I really marvel why she thinks that the whole thing about court is said that anything you can just simply say that I'll go to court. Is she going to court for what? Defamation? How is she defamed? The GJA has not said that she's the one who beat up the journalist. They are saying that people affiliated to her, and the people subsequently made comments to suggest that indeed they are affiliated with her. And so instead of being sober and doing what people would say, well, that is what is expected of a leader, she is now threatening an absurd court action. Well, we can only wish her well. She should go. We are fully in support of the GJA, and in fact, if she should go ahead with a court case, as General Mosquito once said, anyone can go to court. We would certainly be on the side of the GJA and will offer whatever support that the GJA is required. If they don't have the capacity to engage a legal person, we would be willing to be on their side, to support them with the lawyers to defend such a case, which I don't think would happen anyway. But let's see how it goes.
Hold for me, Suleimana. I'll come back to this issue, but the man in the thick of things, Albert Jumfor, GJA president, is on the line with us. Mr. Jumfor, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Benjamin. How are you?
I'm well. It's good to have you this morning. I'm sure you followed the conversation as far as the GJA and your blacklisting Mavis Hawakumson is concerned. She says, I don't think the GJA has conducted a thorough investigation into the matter before issuing the blacklist against me. She's calling for evidence of what you say her team did, barring which she will sue the GJA. Do you have the evidence? Do you have any evidence that points to the fact that Mavis Hawakumson or her team perpetrated the...
If it shows that a right has been committed upon, or maybe so the GJA has done anything illegal, and you want to test the law, we are ready. We are ever prepared. So I don't think that we are perturbed, we are intimidated, we are afraid, we are worried. We are ever ready and prepared any politician who wants to attack journalists in this country. And I will stand my head. Now, talking about evidence, I think we have said this over and over. What is he saying? Is he trying to say that he doesn't know the people who assaulted our colleagues? Is that what he's trying to say? That's what we have enough evidence. Open evidence, and he's aware. I just want to believe that whatever commentary he made were just rhetoric or maybe political statements. But when it comes to evidence, first of all, the very person, the guy, the purported police officer who signaled our colleague to meet him halfway and who questioned him with a picture on his phone, we have the video of this police officer or this reporter, let me put it, but we haven't confirmed the officer yet, but we have the video of this reporter police officer following our position on the official run as a minister of justice. So what is this? We have two close pals, two close ladies who have been with her, as we are told, for over years, over 10 to 20 years. This lady is there. We have pictures of this lady. They were the first people who approached our brother, our colleague, and then asked him, "Are you Jacob?" They confronted him and asked, "Are you Jacob?" Our colleague said, "No, I'm not." They said, "Are you not the one who was on UTV insulting Honorable?" So is he saying that he's going to disassociate himself or delink himself from these two women? We have the image. We have a picture of one of the thugs who actually assaulted our brother, who hit our brother. We have a picture. We have not seen it. So you should bring it on. We are ready. If he wants to fight the victim, the media, nobody, no single individual can fight the media in this country. Not even the town. Not to talk of the Kaswa. We are there. This is take them to court, and we'll meet them there. Sorry.
All right. So if she's going to court, she should go, and you're saying she should take the matter to court. You meet her there. So you're standing by that stance. You're sticking to that position.
We have said that this is the same woman whose ministry has issued a statement last week, calling for a coup in some way, and I've made some proposals that they will be meeting the GDA in the coming week to sit on the matter and discuss. On Friday. Now, maybe after winning the election, I don't know whether he thought our pressure was to I don't know, maybe he thought we have an intent against her in the quest that is run down to her election. So after winning the election, he felt that he felt emboldened. And now I'm promoting the official statement issued by her own ministry, trying to say that, trying to arrange for people with the DJ. And now this is threatening call. We are easily surprised. But we would love it if it goes to court. We would give blow to account of whatever happens, proceedings. We are ready. We are the parent body of the media in Ghana. And nobody, not even the government, can eat data. We are our legal team prepared. Yesterday, I had a long meeting with our legal team. We are ready for our country. Our country will take the lead to court. We will meet there.
It's interesting because at a point, when she spoke, she made mention of the fact that you, in some interaction with her, had promised that you would send her, I don't know whether it was directly with her or said somewhere, but that you had said that you would send her evidence, a video or something of the sort, pointing to this attack, the assault on the Cape FM journalist, and that you had not, till when she was coming out with this statement, you hadn't been able to send it to her. But you're saying you do have the evidence, right?
Agago, this is a palpable lie. It's a palpable lie. This is a woman, when she called, and the first person was supposed to her, she denied entirely. This woman denied. In fact, is it a reaction to our first question? He had already taken what we call an entrenched position, denying that team, if you say you were not there, You were not there when our colleague was being attacked. Why would you come up and deny entire? But he wasn't ready to cooperate. So we asked that, look, I told them, and I remember vividly, I said, look, the media, as a media person, as journalists, we don't dwell on suspicion, or we don't dwell on, how do we call it, there's something I want to get this word right. But then we deal with facts, we deal with evidence. And does it know that we have images A, B, C, D? Then, as soon as I said, then if we have it, she doesn't have it, she doesn't know. So, at the beginning of the conversation, she had denied, and she had said that. First, she said, have we cited a statement issued by a team? That was the first question she asked me, and I told her we are not dealing with a statement; we are dealing with her. So from the word go, because she wasn't ready, then later when I told her we have the proof, we have the visuals, we have the images, we have things we have the pictures and the visuals to prove that these people are members of a camp, of a team, and otherwise. Then she came and said, oh, then she will investigate and get back to us. Why would I go on air and say that we are going to get back to her? We called you to let you know that we have this information at hand. So why should we come back to you? As if we are pampering you. No. If you say, just produce the perpetrators of this attack for the law to deal with them. Once you do that, the GJA has no problem, has no issue with you. Produce them. These are people around you. These are attacks around you. And we don't know who next they are going to pour those venom on. So, Agato, I don't see why. I think he's just doing politics with it. We are not doing politics. We are not doing politics. DJ does not dwell on assumptions. We don't dwell on suspicion. This is an establishment or an association established under the laws of this country. Chapter 4 of the Constitution gives us the independence, the freedom to do our work. Again, we are also empowered in the longest standing media body or association in this country from 1949 to now. It is not for an individual. And we did not just come out with this decision. We did an extensive engagement, very extensive engagement, including speaking to our partners. And I'm happy my good brother Sulemana is on the line. I remember when the issue after when we tried to reach her, he was in Senegal, Dakar. You see, so we spoke to all our partners. We spoke to the heads of key media institutions, including multimedia.
Right.
We spoke to. So it is not. We did not just wake up and say that we are coming out with this decision. So if he shows that he has the law on his side, he should just go and tell the law. Every hell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jumfor, for joining the conversation. Albert Jumfor.
Yes, and Agato, before I go online, let me first of all commend, first of all, multimedia, you and other media houses who have actually headed to this call. And we are so much excited to say that for the first time, even though there has been some, there are always, how do we call it, some media houses who may, we knew that who may violate the call. It wasn't an order, it was a call. So a call means that this is in our own collective interest. We are not, nobody is under any obligation or any obligation to adhere to it. But for our collective interest and for our safety, we call. And so far as I'm concerned, so far I can say that the support has been enormous. And let me thank our brother Sulemana, who was out of town, and I know that as soon as he arrived, we have also shown their support behind this decision. But to end, let me give an example. An example is City.
Right.
Yes, City violated this order. And let me tell you, at this call, let me correct myself, this call. And as at the time they observed their platform for our country, or to publish our country's story. At the same time, their reporter or correspondent in Yendi was being beaten, was being attacked. This is what we've been talking about. That the safety of journalists It's a collective responsibility that let's all help, let's all come together and stop this menace. Because you may think that today it is David Kobler. Today, you may think this is how these people will get to know
Right.
that the media is very important. They need us more than we need them.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Albert Jum, for joining the conversation. He is president of the Ghana Journalists Association. Thank you very much, Suleimana Brahima, for joining the conversation. He's executive director, Media Foundation for West Africa. Let's cross over now and get some further details, some thoughts briefly on the parliamentary primaries of the MPP on Saturday. Joining the conversation, he is a political scientist and director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante. Good morning, Doc.
Morning, Ben. How are you, my brother?
I could be better, but we thank God for life. What do you make, to start off the conversation, of the parliamentary primaries of the MPP in its entirety? I mean, I'd like you to summarize, but the good, the bad, and the ugly, even before we get into who has lost and who has been retained.
The good. I'll start with the good. The good is that there was a lot of preparation that manifested itself in terms of the way the election went, with a few hiccups, with the exception of a few hiccups. The election went, by and large, were peaceful and free and fair, and it tells you that the NPP put in their all to get this type of result. The bad, we also heard of issue of monetization and its effects, which Ghanaian political actors have been hypocritical about. They are not ready to deal with this. I don't know how we are going to fix it. The ugly is what we saw, the very ugly spectacle in Yendi, where two candidates declaring themselves as winners and all that. It's unfortunate. I believe that the party constitution and other mechanisms are in place to fix this problem once and for all. It doesn't bode well for a party such as MPP.
Now, speaking about those, money in our politics, you mentioned Yendi, and apart from the assault on a journalist, which purported by the man himself, the MP, Farouk Aliu Mahama, the journalist insists that it was Farouk Aliu Mahama who assaulted this person, and of course, also some members of the team of Farouk. And then there was that incident with the ballot papers being shredded and all of that. The EC did not declare, but a member of the constituency executive of the MPP went ahead to declare the elections. What do you make of those developments? And then you can add the fact I was talking about in the beginning. Money, yeah. The TV sets branded with people's images and all of that.
That is very unfortunate to have that type of experience in elections such as what? Intra-party elections, a contest within the same political party. Like that, people will not understand themselves and they will not do what is expected of them. And at the end of the day, they are virtually in blows and all that. It's very, very unfortunate because democracy abhors these type of behavior. So I was expecting something better than what we saw. It's very, very unfortunate. All that happened was nothing but what a sorry story on that day. We believe that we will not have a repeat of this come 2024 December 7th election. That is my hope. And it tells you that the party has a lot of homework to do, and EC also should be able to take a cue from this and make sure that all the necessary education that they need to get from these, they'll be able to add into what they have in order to ensure a very peaceful and successful election. For issue of monetization, it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. And Ben, you have
I guess with each primary or election, we just see how much worse it is becoming, don't we?
Oh, yes. Yes. But we as a society, our problem is that we have acquired to this for a very long time. Yes. Once they deny you what they promise you, knowing very well that you use that against them, then they come to you during elections and then pay you off. Then you are silent. If we continue to maintain this state of affairs, a time will come, campaign will be relevant. Issues will not be discussed. All that you need is to go and dole out money to voters, and at the end of the day, you will smile. Is that what we have bargained for as a society who really want to maintain this democracy by hook or by crook? I'm not sure that is what we have bargained for us. Members of this society, including the voters themselves, we should be alert and chase away anybody who comes in there to influence us with money and other material things. It means that he has taken you for granted, and that what is of interest to you is none of his or her business.
There's also that incident, right before we get into other matters briefly, there's also that incident of Mavis Hawakumsin and the GJA calling for a blackout of anything related to her, an assault on a Cape FM journalist, supposedly by some members of her team. She says she's suing the GJA. I just spoke to the GJA boss who says she should go ahead to court and they will follow her, that they have the evidence. More to talk about there. Any quick reactions?
I've not followed the story, so I'll not be able to comment. I'm just hearing for the first time. I want to have full details to be able to digest and then discuss them.
All right. Fair is fair on that. So let's take a quick look at those who gained and those who lost in the last parliamentary primaries. Adansi Osokwa, KT Hammond retained, Francis Asenso-Boakye retained in Bantama, faced stiff opposition from Raphael Pong, Kennedy Japon's brother, and there was, of course, the threat in the antecedents to that contest. In Wejagbawe, Tina Mensah lost to Jerry Ahmed. It was quite a landslide, surprising. Frida Prempeh ceded her position to Dr. Gideon Boako. There's also, interestingly, Anyaso Utuom, Dr. Adomako Kisi losing his slot. There were so many of them. What is your...
To remove them and give way to those who can really serve their interests. These things happen all the time. So you can be a big boss. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that the constituents are the people who decide. So sometimes it doesn't matter so much about the way you want to induce them and all that. When they decide, they decide. So for me, it's a good thing, because we are going to get people, fresh people into the system to change the game for the party, if that is the intention of the party. And then we are also going to get people learning from this.
Thank you. I wish you same. That is Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante, a political scientist and director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. We're taking a breather. When we return, the concerned members of the National Association of Institutional Suppliers are asking government to pay up their arrears. How long has this been on the table? What are they looking forward to? We have that conversation up next on The AM Show.
A fifth of the babies who come in will end up dying.
This is impactful journalism, the storytelling that stretches your imagination and shines a light on the underreported issues.
Normally, if you talk, doesn't change people, let them see it.
This is impactful journalism. It is fearless, independent journalism that reshapes thoughts and crushes stereotypes.
But I had no more strength in me again.
The person must be made to know that what you have done, yes, it would have deserved murder.
This is impactful journalism. It provides context and meaning to the different perspectives.
Children are born with sin, and therefore if you don't baptize them and they die as children, then they will go to hell. This is funny.
This is impactful journalism. It provides context and meaning to the different perspectives. This is JoyNews Hotline Documentaries, compelling stories changing the status quo.
News is important. It's the only way you get to know the things that happen around you, what affects you today and the future. At JoyNews, we have reporters scattered around the country who tell us about the communities they live in, the people and their stories. The key part of our job here at JoyNews is to make clearer the muffled voices in every part of society. We shine light on the issues. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and this is JoyNews. Independent, credible, and fearless.
So spokesperson for the new force, Shalima Abuisi, has been granted bail by a Kaneshi district court. Down here, there are hundreds of people that have come in solidarity of Shalima Abuisi. What has Madam Shelley done?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
But you just came. I mean, which people asked you to come?
My brothers.
Your brothers?
Yes.
So where are they? Are they also here?
Yes.
What did they tell you before you follow them?
They tell me, say, make I come help them to come see the Madam Shelley.
But you know Madam Shelley?
No.
You've spoken to her before? You don't
know? But I see her for graphic.
Graphic?
Yes.
So that's the only place that you've seen her?
Yes.
Yes, so yeah, my meeting here was say.
I mean, friends.
Shelley. Madam Shelley.
Shelley Ofri.
Oh, ya na wa ye kan se circle haya, Accra haya.
So to ade ni bi.
Ono na boa ye ma me na boa ni nti na wa say. So mu njan because ono na boa kakra kakra.
So where do you know Madam Shelley?
Madam Shelley, really we know her. She has been a, let's say, a dual citizen of Ghana. Yeah, she's a half citizen of Ghana, and we know her. And we know her from the grassroots. It's not today. We've been working for her. She has a lot of entities. So we say, free Shelley.
For how long have you known her?
Oh, really? I've known Madam Shelley for about 8 years now.
Welcome back on the AM show, and thanks for staying with us if you've been with us since 6 a.m. Now, it's time now for us to shift our focus to the educational sector. This morning, we brought a report of some concerns of the challenges saddling the free senior high school policy. We also know that TEWU and some other educational institutions, unions, are on strike. I say all this to say that there's some storm brewing somewhere else. The concerned members of National Association of Institutional Suppliers are asking government to pay up the arrears. These are a group of people who supply textbooks, school uniforms to every public senior high school in the country. I'm joined in the studio by Emmanuel Ayivo, who's the PRO, and Amwata Hill, the National Secretary, to have a conversation. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
How are you feeling this morning?
By the grace of God, and we are only managing.
You're managing.
You're managing.
What is the problem this morning? Why have you, we know that you've written a letter to the government asking that they either pay up the arrears, which is 2 academic years, and the current one, or else you're threatening some industrial actions. Tell me the whole story this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And good morning to the viewers. This issue, as we've stated in a press statement, has been that our government is actually owing suppliers. That is those of us who supply to all public schools, school uniform, house dress, school cloth, for a period of 2 academic years. That is 2021-2022 academic year, then 2022-2023 academic year. Government has failed to pay us actually on time, and it has brought heavy burden on us. So through Joy and all media, we want government to expedite the payment. Yes, with immediate effect, they should pay us, or we will actually pick it at the Ministry of Education.
So when did you enter this contract with the Ministry of Education or the government, and what was the payment term or plan, and then how come they're owing you this much at this point? When did it start, the contract between you two?
The contract, as we're talking now, this one is 2021-2022 academic year, then 2022-2023 academic year. Usually when, at the exception of free SHS, when we supply within 90 days, that is 3 months, government should have paid. And the problem, somewhere 2021, as we talk,
Yeah, your statement said that you took some bank loans as a reason. Because of the bank loans, some of you are losing property, others have closed down completely. Who guaranteed these loans, and who led you, who orchestrated the loan system? Because you take money from the bank to supply schools. There has to be some sort of agreement before you go ahead and do that. Who orchestrated all that?
It's the individual suppliers. We are businessmen, so businessmen and women. So individually, we go to bank.
On your own accord?
On our own accord.
Okay.
And this, we do 100% pre-financing for the supply. So once they tender the document and you bid for the tender and you win, you will find a way of supplying to the schools. So we go through banks individually without any government assistance.
Okay. How much does the government owe you right now? What's the total figure of the arrears? Do you know? Okay, National Secretary.
It's over 30 million Ghana cedis.
30 million Ghana cedis? It's over. Yeah. Okay.
But the way they do pay us, it's a way that you cannot even know the actual figure. Because they start paying, they'll pay one through, they stop, there's no money. And we there for this month, they'll pay a bit, they stop. Yeah, so it's over 30 million Ghana cedis.
This is not the first time you're threatening to picket or even, cause any kind of industrial action. As far back as July 2023, you issued another statement threatening to picket. What was the response from government then? And why do you think there will be any difference now?
In all, we were called to, we will pay, calm down. We are getting money to pay you. And in all their promises, they didn't honor their promises. So this time around, you have to pay us or the picketing will come on, to come on very seriously.
Picketing look like?
We will all be at the Ministry of Education.
All 250 members of you?
Members and our workers, we will all be there.
And our beneficiaries, those who actually are benefiting from us.
You see, madam, some are losing their business, their jobs. You see, you have to come and see our shops, the machines we've bought for this business. We are losing them. Workers are going home. It's very bad. It's bad. And we need to rise up, else it will affect us. You have to pay us. This business has been there for years.
Okay, we are yet to send them petition officially. So in course of this week, we will be reaching to NAGRAT, NAT, concerned teachers, then African Educational Watch, all who matters in education settings, stakeholders. This week, officially, we will write to them to intervene in this plight of ours.
You also say that there should be a reconsideration of the contracts that have been terminated. Tell me more about that. Which contracts have been terminated, and why do you want it to be reconsidered if they are not even paying up what?
They owe me for years, okay? Like 2021, 2022. Some have several schools, maybe 20 schools, 50 schools. There are several have done like 30 schools, and it's not being paid for 1 year. Now I'm left with 10 that's 1 year. Now I'm left with 10 that's not supplied. And that they are taking a contract to an individual, one person, to do all those schools, and that is bad. Same thing happened with PE kits, and now it's being given to some few people to do it in China. And Ghana is losing all that revenue in Ghana here.
You were initially handling the PE kits.
And it was taken and given to a few people, only 5 people in the country.
What was the reason they gave for taking that contract?
Unless you ask the Duchum, Honorable Minister. But there's no, excuse my word, sense in that thing. To lose many people and give to a few to do in China. We don't know what to say, but it's bad. It's bad. We need to sit up.
Your final words. You can talk directly to the government because I'm sure some of them are listening to you right now.
Yeah, let me come first, he will come. Indeed, we are all in support of the free scenario policy. We support it very well. It's a good policy. It's a nice policy that we agree to. But some things are not good that we need to sit down and look at it very well, especially our payment terms. Okay, we supply and make things work well for the policy. So she meet us and we are doing a payment terms so that we do for them. We are willing to do it, but the payment terms is very bad, and she set up and work on it very for us.
Okay, thank you. And I'll also tell the government that we are not doing politics here. The truth is, our businesses are really collapsing. Yes, things that we invested for years, this time it is being difficult for us. So we want them to pay us as a matter of urgency so that we can survive in the business, so that we can survive, and so that we can all help Free SHS to move on. So through JoyNews, we want to extend our message to the Honorable Education Minister to see to the quick payment of the arrears they owe us.
When does the 14 days start? Today or yesterday?
14 days started on 22nd of January. So we expect by 5th of February, government should actually respond. Not what we will do is the members will again write to the media. Then we will officially announce, we hold a press conference and officially announce our picketing dates at the Ministry of Education. And this time, we mean.
Well, I hope that before 5th of February, the government comes to your aid and tries to smoothing this out. Thank you so much for joining us. Emmanuel Ayivo, who's the PRO, and Amwa Tahil, National Secretary, for joining us. Unfortunately, today again, we cannot have your say, but let me quickly say a happy birthday to Nadia Nale Otu at Best of Best Academy in Ablekuma. From your uncle, Oura, may the Lord continue to bless you and give you more wisdom. Again, a happy birthday, a happy new year and blessed birthday to Mrs. Gifty Akosua Asantewa Hioje, a.k.a. Siba the Sailor. From your hubby children, Linda, they say also wishes you, Rachel Opoku, a special birthday as you celebrate your new age. We are grateful to have such an amazing woman like you in our family. Let's keep going on our love journey. From your darling husband, Joseph Opoku, and your 3 boys, Perez, Nkunim, and Fifi. We say we love you dearly. That's so beautiful. And a big thank you to Akosia Kanga for always letting me show up beautiful. That's how we wrap up for the AM show this morning. My name is Sweetie Abochi. I did this with Benjamin Akpo. Keep watching JoyNews, your home of independence.
Up until 2012, then to 2016, so many promises, unfulfilled promises. I mean, as a running mate, he went on to make promises as if he was going to be the president. And people, you know, will hold you for your words. We've heard comments of him saying 8 years, I mean, NDC in government, that was in 2016. Yes, they've not been able to transform Ghana. The question Ghanaians will ask ourselves today is, the 8 years down the lane, MPP in government, have we been able to transform Ghana? I was at Accra Sports Stadium and I heard him say they are going to save Ghana. I don't know, he was speaking as if he was still in opposition. Save Ghana from who?
They have got some incredible stories. You've probably never heard of them before.
If you are better than the coach, then you should have been the coach.
We ever knelt down to beg a coach to take Suleiman Tari to a tour?
Yes. In 2010, I did it.
Milo asked you to sign for his agent and you refused?
Yes.
Mufti, at a point, nobody wants to come and play for the Blasters. Since 2008, semi-finals, finals, semi-finals, finals.
If we continue like this, I can assure you and I can bet you.
Anything happen negative concerning the team, it's me.
What is deeper poor? supporter.
Can he still win a world title?
With my experience, it's a no-go area. Come across a lot of featherweights. And Isaac Dogbe do not match them at all.
First of all, I think the GBA itself need a lot of schooling.
If Seto Kweku is re-elected, you think that Ghana football will crumble? Is that what you're saying?
We are in debt.
If that is what is in his mind, then tell him he should stop it.
They have to clean their heads.
When the voices that matter in Ghana sports speak, they speak here on Prime Take every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on JoyNews.
JoyNews. That's quick. Coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we're free to wear. Coming up this morning, First Deputy Speaker Jose Wusu downplays impact of MP losses on parliamentary proceedings despite the booting of notable majority members in just ended primaries. We'll hear from watchers of the political space with an impact analysis on this situation. Also, the Electoral Commission says no winner was declared in the Yendi contest. Elsewhere, 3 countries, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, quit ECOWAS. We'll hear from security analysts on what this means to ECOWAS. We have details coming up shortly on JoyNews Desk. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details.
Hello, I know we're expecting a dirty December, but guess what?
Announced the exit of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, over concerns of lack of support towards the essential fight against terrorism and insecurity. But speaking to JoyNews after an announcement, the Executive Director of ONEF, Chukwuemeka Eze, said their claim cannot be true because the security and economic situations of the 3 countries had already worsened.
Multilateralism is challenged globally now, whether it is the UN, the African Union, or ECOWAS. So one would argue that even though it is unfortunate, it was the signs were already there that this could happen because member states were losing faith in intergovernmental organizations.
I see. So what could this mean for the bloc?
I think it's a huge challenge, especially for a region that is touted as the beacon of integration. ECOWAS continued to be a reference point amongst other regional economic communities in Africa and even beyond, as a region that was already ahead of others with regards to its integration policy. And therefore, I think that the coming together of what I would describe as the coalition of the willings of the junta is a huge challenge, not just with regards to the peace and security situation in the Sahel region, but also the entire region is challenged by this unfortunate development.
I see. So in terms of mediation, what can be done?
Well, I think that without preempting the ECOWAS rules and procedures, I think that ECOWAS will regard this decision as more or less as a decision taken by an illegal junta and probably will continue what they should have done even prior to this period. Because at some point, and in fact, I want to distinguish between the ECOWAS Commission and the Authority of Health.
So that was a conversation with Carlos Coloni. Let's stay on this because I've been joined by Ghana's ambassador in Burkina Faso, Boniface Gambela, for more. Thanks so much for your time, sir. First of all, do you agree with ONEF's position that the reason cited by the three countries for leaving the bloc is untrue?
Good morning, and morning to all listeners. It's a difficult situation to say yes or no, because these are sovereign countries making their own decisions. This bloc, this AES group, feel that they are not being supported by their own brothers and sisters in terms of ECOWAS and the African Union. So they have a fight to fight. They came to power, apparently their reason is that they want to fight terrorism. Because if you take a place like Burkina Faso, where over 60% of the land coverage is under terrorist control. So the junta sees itself as a patriotic body that has come to recover its territory for its country. And so when they sit back and they get sanctions from the ECOWAS that is supposed to unite them, they feel that letting them down. And so it's purely a decision of a group saying that they are patriotic juntas. And they feel, from what they say on the ground and what we hear and what they state, they write, is that their countries are being exploited, and they are trying to prevent or undo the exploitations because of the issues of their resources. They see the poverty everywhere in their countries. So for them, it is that the regional bloc, they feel the regional bloc is not doing enough to fight terrorism. While they say we want to fight terrorism, the regional bloc is talking of constitutional government. So they find it very difficult.
Has the diplomatic corps in Burkina Faso been notified officially, especially because that's where you operate and that will no longer be an ECOWAS territory?
They haven't formally notified any of us. Is the government spokesperson we read from the media so far.
Let's come to Ghana, because our diplomatic ties with Burkina Faso nearly stalled last year when the ambassador was recalled from Ghana. I mean, with all of these happening, don't you fear that the latest development will further deteriorate our relations with them?
Never at all, because the ambassador was not recalled. He was called for consultation. Let's get that correct. He was called for consultation, and he returned. I was invited, and we did discuss the issues, because the issues at that time was about finding the resources to support Burkina Faso. Perhaps it was the angle in which the presentation was made, which they went on to understand. And the relationship between Ghana and Burkina under the current government is something to say will never break down.
But the immediate threat to Ghana, actually, as President Akufo-Addo raised some days ago, is a concern about extremism groups operating closer to our borders. What immediate steps would you recommend that we take?
Operational process for both countries, and even for the other coastal countries with Burkina Faso. You know, the Accra initiative is the group of countries bordering with Burkina Faso. So when President Nana Addo decided to get these countries together to mobilize resources to support Burkina Faso and mobilize the security services to exchange experiences and other things. It has so far worked very well because under that relationship, Burkina Faso today, I can say, compared to the past circumstances where they couldn't deal with terrorists, since that initiative came on and the relationship, what Burkina Faso is doing now against terrorists is highly remarkable.
Well, I mean, that's interesting to note, but also Ghana depends largely on exports of onions and other staples. Can we survive? I mean, because can we actually survive the impending hurdles that may arise through the departure of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger?
We can survive. The problem of these exports is the issue of ECOWAS sanctions. If we don't have ECOWAS sanctions, everything is free. And even with this, their decision, I don't see anything going to affect us. Because Ghana and Burkina Faso are brothers and sisters. That's what we must know. It's just that the Berlin Conference divided us. The 1825 or 1875 Berlin Conference. That is the only difference. But Ghana and Burkina Faso, if you get closer to the border, you won't even know the difference. And the government here sees the president of Nana Addo as their model, their father. So the relationship is just so high that this change is just within the Sahel. It's a political issue of exploitation, of governance, of looking for freedom or looking for independence. And that will not affect Burkina and Ghana because Burkina depends on us a lot and we depend on Burkina a lot. Brothers and sisters don't, even brothers and sisters fight, they sleep together.
Boniface Gambela, I'm grateful for your time, sir. He's Ghana's ambassador to Burkina Faso. I'm grateful that you made time this morning. Let's take a break on JoyNews Desk. We'll be back with more.
Across Africa, a new era has begun. Shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Today, we are making a brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
As for the marriage, you get the certificate before you get into the marriage, so you don't know what is ahead of you.
What would make your partner walk out of the relationship?
Probably when he finds me cheating. No.
So, I'm not going to handle the body or what? What's his waist size?
It's in the end here. When I get home, I'll explain this.
What's Papa? 2 years or so, and 3 years ago, I say, I can't pray.
And you want to go into politics? You
want to go into politics? Not 5 years, not 5 years.
Right. If you love me right.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no!
We are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Welcome back to JoyNews. That's to the rest of our story. The Ghana Côte d'Ivoire Cocoa Initiative is reporting that both countries are grappling with the challenge of cocoa smuggling through unregulated markets. Since its inception in 2018, Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire have expressed willingness on sustainable cocoa strategy with a view to increasing the prices received by cocoa farmers in their respective countries in a sustainable manner. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Blessed Soga on Foreign Affairs, Executive Secretary of the Cocoa Initiative, Alexa Sanvo, made a strong case for an increase in the income difference for farmers. Mr. Sanvo, however, highlighted the surge in smuggling in cocoa into other unregulated markets, while expressing confidence the traceability policy initiated by Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire will tackle the situation.
And because both countries are talking, are exchanging data. So recently in one of my board meetings, we were very clear. Both countries have exchanges, and Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana have presented some of the actions, joint effort at border. But the issue is even less at the border between Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. Both countries are facing smuggling outside the country through other countries. So
okay, not between Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. Right.
Between Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, anyway, when a farmer has a fit in both countries, you can't stop him to buy wherever he feels right. But that one is not where the problem is. The problem is trucks coming to Ghana and vice versa. This is less, and it's becoming less because the way we have set the price in both countries, the gaps is so close that doesn't allow anyone to have benefit by smuggling cocoa.
So people are rather moving in.
Well, I'm not saying they're rather moving, but there are others that are interesting to go and look where there are no regulations. That's how it works. But for us, we are not so worried because the key market for the African countries are Europe. And Europe has put some rules where today Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana have implemented traceability system, right? Which means that if you go and buy your cocoa elsewhere, well, you have to probably fraud for the data to prove where your product is coming from. So for us, this situation will probably benefit us because then only if you buy from Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana very clearly with the full traceability that prove that you are not buying from certain areas and A, B, C, D, then it will be good. So
and that even reminds me about the EU policy. That I guess that's what you're referring to.
That's what I'm referring to.
Impoverish the average farmer? Or,
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, because then cocoa, as I said, the value for this cocoa will be much more clearer because it will be traceable. We will know where it's coming from. There are costs associated to it, and anyone who wants to buy this cocoa will have to pay to this price.
Ghana is, of course, facing some economic challenges. Revenue from cocoa is also being strained as well. At the same time, we're seeing farmers asking for some subvention on fertilizers and all of that. But government says, well, we're running an austerity plan with the IMF, so these things would have to hold on a bit. In the wake of these economic challenges, what recommendation do you have in terms of how countries and governments can help these cocoa farmers to tackle
It's difficult for me to talk on what Ghana will do strategically, but what I could say is that today we reach a market level that is now advantage. So if we run properly, as you know, we sell forward. So the cocoa we are selling will be for the next year crop. But that process in the current price market will enable us to cover and to carry on good investment that we can bring back to the farmer. So for that perspective, I'm not so worried. Instead, I think farmers need to be motivated because the demand is there. The price, higher price we have been fighting for is there. And only what is needed is to get cocoa.
Let's take a break on JoyNews Desk. We are back with more.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
Oh, and chaos reigns! Yes! Back in the day, I was Ghana man, but something was missing until I found the one. HD Plus is not your regular free-to-air decoder. For a small fee, you get to experience great services and exciting world of content. Dial *879# on your mobile phone and subscribe for as low as 290 cedis. Fashion, this one is different. The images are 5 times clearer in HD picture quality, and I'm loving the feely experience. HD Plus, I love you.
But I'm still here.
HD Plus, for better,
for less.
That's right. Get your HD Plus decoder from any Electroland outlet or our dealer shops.
We have seen a lot together, and through it all, the faces here at JoyNews have looked you straight in the eyes and asked the questions you've always wanted to ask. We've been fearless, but compassionate. We've been relentless with our probe. We have given you the microphones.
The boy they killed is my best friend.
We here at JoyNews are always honored to share each day with you. My name is Ernest Minu, and this is JoyNews. Credible, fearless, and independent.
Welcome back. In a devastating turn of events, economic activities in the town of Saikope in the North Tong district has grounded to a standstill just 4 days after the collapse of the Aklakba River Bridge. The incident occurred when a heavy truck carrying loads of salt attempted crossing the bridge, leading to its collapse. The bridge, a vital lifeline for the local community, connects Saikope to neighboring areas. The collapse has left residents, motorists, and travelers stranded. Ivy Setoji has more.
It's Saikope in the North Tongue district, and behind me is the Aklakpa River. And 5 days ago, the bridge collapsed, making activities, especially business activities, come to a standstill. Now, most of the residents, travelers, and motorists have to park at the other side, take a boat to wherever they are going. This actually leads to drop from Adidome. What the residents are asking government to do is for an immediate action to be taken as soon as possible to get the bridge fixed. One of the residents we spoke to earlier said that maybe it was a way God is just showing the government something, or a way to make the government wake up to do something in a bad shape for some time now. So
imagine the children crossing it. It's not a nice experience at all.
Honestly, I didn't think